This is KSL Sports Live, broadcasting from the Mountain Home Services studios.
The NBA and NHL are taking a break, but not us here at KSL Sports. Thanks for staying up with us. A huge game for the Utah State Aggies in the pit on Sunday.
Yeah, and the Runnin' Utes, they picked up a big top 25 win this weekend, while BYU, they continue to get closer to an NCAA tournament bid.
But let's launch this show from the Bay Area. Maybe we shouldn't. San Francisco, home to the 2025 NBA All-Star Game. Many believe, including me, the All-Star Game has become stale.
Well, that's because it has, right? So the league, they must have agreed because they continue to tweak the format a bit. This year, it's a new single elimination mini tournament. 4 teams of 8 players, 24 All-Stars, and the team that won the Rising Stars Challenge. That team includes Utah Jazz sophomore Keyonte George. Now, Sunday's tournament format started off with Kenny Smith's team facing Charles Barkley's team. Just like the normal All-Star game, players taking logo threes, Karl Anthony Towns from 37 feet. And still the high-flying dunks as well. Jalen Williams gets up for the alley-oop for Team Kenny. Throws that one down. Nikola Jokic, a bit later on, would team up with Victor Wembanyama for the oop. He could have kissed the rim there. I mean, he's already tall enough, right? These games are won by the first team to reach the target score of 40, and SGA puts Team Chuck over the top. They advance to the final.
Keyonte George was on the team that won the Rising Stars Friday. His reward and their reward, they're one of 4 teams in the All-Star game tonight, facing Shaq's team. Huge favorite in this exhibition. Keyonte played 9 minutes and made a 3, the first points of the game, and they kept it close. Steph Curry, though, was cooking 30-foot three-pointers. Still on the menu. The OG were out on the break. Jaylen Brown with the alley-oop. Then it's going to end with Bay Area native Damian Lillard. First to 40 wins and Dame time from deep. Ball game. Shaq's OGs move on to the final.
All right, so the All-Star Game Championship comes down to Shaq's OGs facing Team Chuck. It starts off with Steph Curry dialing up the running three-pointer from the top of the arc. Then Jason Tatum. He scored 8 straight points, including a pair of threes. Team Shaq's out to an 11-0 lead. Wemby led Team Chuck with 11 points, the board, and the dunk. But it's the All-Star Game, and you know Steph is going to give us one of these, right? From half court, he had 12 points in the game. Tatum led all scorers with 15, including the game winner. Team Shaq, your 2025 All-Star champs. Raise the banner.
All right, now let's get to something that actually matters. The Utah State Aggies have just 3 losses this season entering Sunday. They had a chance to avenge one of them today, but it wouldn't be easy. A trip to Albuquerque to face the New Mexico Lobos in the pit. A hostile environment, a key Mountain West battle, and it lived up to the hype. They had 12 in the game. This one by Mason Falslev leads to a break. Drake Allen with the slam dunk. 12 steals, that is. Allen scored 9 straight points. Game was tied at 23. Falslev misses, but hustles to track down his own rebounds and gives the Aggies the lead. He hits the 3. 2:20 left in the first half. Tucker Anderson hit a 3 to break the tie. Another great effort. This one from Ian Martinez. First the alley-oop. The Aggies are up 4 at that point. He scored 7 straight points for the Aggies. And how did he get that to go? And 1. Aggies led 42-36 at the half. Second half, the Aggies lead would grow. Another Aggie steal. Falslev on the other end. Utah State led by as much as 10 at the pit. But the Lobos would rally. True Washington had a huge game. Cuts the lead to 1 at the 11-minute mark. Down 3, the Aggies tie it. Ian Martinez from the corner. But the momentum was still with the Lobos. Donovan Dent, the best player in the Mountain West, he gets hot. He gives New Mexico a 5-point lead. Falslev keeping it close. A bucket to cut the Lobo lead to 1. An Aggie turnover leads to a big bucket for the Lobos. Donovan Dent, nothing but net. 6-point Lobo lead. Aggies keep fighting, down 7 with 2.5 left. Martinez makes a couple of threes to tie it at 76 with 1:25 left. He had 21, up 1. New Mexico the ball. True Washington makes a big shot with 9 seconds to go to put New Mexico up 4. But Utah State would not die. Falls with a 3 to cut it to 1 with 3 seconds left. He had a game-high 27 after a couple New Mexico free throws. The Aggies had a shot, but it was blocked by Dent. What a game. But the Aggies fall in the pit. New Mexico has a 2-game lead in the Mountain West. The Stars shine in this one. Fallsliv, 27 points. Ian Martinez, 21. But New Mexico got a combined 48 points from their stars. Dent, 23, and Washington, 25. Free throws the difference. New Mexico attempted 18 more than the Aggies. They made 27 to the Aggies' 13. The officiating, not great. The latest Mountain West standings, the Lobos in complete control, up 2 games and a sweep of the Aggies. Utah State in a second game, and actually a 2.5 game lead of the Aztecs, who picked up a big win over Boise State. They're tied with Colorado State at 10-4. 3 bids max likely for the Mountain West in the NCAA tournament. And here's what lies ahead for Utah State. Now 22-4 on the season, 12-3 in conference. 5 games remaining, 3 home, 2 road. February 22nd will be fun when the Aztecs come to the Spectrum, plus 2 very tough road games at Boise State and Colorado State. It's hard to believe, but the Kansas Jayhawks, one of college basketball's blue bloods, has never played a regular season game in Salt Lake City at the Huntsman Center.
Yeah, their first trip was Saturday. The Running Utes, they had a chance to get a win over the 17th ranked team in the country and boost the program, get a boost that the program desperately needs, and they actually pulled it off.
Yes, they did. Big win for the Utes. How'd they do it? Well, it started with defense. The Utes had a 22-7 edge on points off of turnovers, and they dominated the boards, especially the offensive glass. 16 offensive rebounds that they would convert into 14 points. And offensively, Ezra Asar continues to play well. He had 12 points, 8 rebounds on that alley-oop. The star for the Utes, though, was their leader, Gabe Matson. He had 24 points, and the Utes would hold on for a 74-67 win.
They kicked our butt on the glass, and then our turnovers led to points for them, and that was the biggest difference in the outcome.
And then obviously the rebounding. You know, for us to get 16 offensive boards on 40 missed shots against a team like that, that's hard to do. And I think it told you a lot about our mindset.
Speaking of Gabe Madsen, he's leaving his mark on the program. The senior made 8 threes and became the Utes' all-time three-point scorer with 1:58 left in the game, his 288th career 3. That breaks a record for Utah that was held by Nick Jacobson.
I think it's a chess match, and if it comes down to the last 5 minutes, I'd rather have Utah's team than anyone in America because they execute so well.
In time for this week's archive, we look back at the last time Utah beat a Bill Self-led team. It was in 1999 in the WAC tournament. Self was the head coach of Tulsa. Rick Majerus and the Running Utes defeated them in overtime to advance to the championship game.
The Running Utes weren't the only ones pulling off upsets this week. And how about the BYU women's basketball team? On Saturday, they were hosting the 20th ranked Oklahoma State Cowboys. OK State had a 5-point fourth quarter lead when freshman phenom Delaney Gibb got the three-pointer to drop, cutting the lead to 2. Gibb finished with 14 points, 7 rebounds, 6 assists, and 3 steals. It was Emma Calvert who completed the comeback, led the Cougs to victory. She gave BYU the lead with just over 2 minutes to go. 19-point game for Calvert in BYU's first win over a ranked opponent since February of last year.
Our record doesn't really show like how good we actually are as a team, and we just kind of came out tonight and put 4 quarters together, and that's kind of what did it.
I wanted this so bad. I wanted to win. I wanted to win for my teammates, and so I was like, I'm going to get that board. If she misses, I am going to get it.
Tonight, like that's what I'm saying. Like they come every day ready to play, and it's true. It's true. Speaking of their character, who they are as individuals, that they will stay the course and stay together. And I just love that they fight every single day.
From the Utah Jazz, Keyonte George.
Saturday roll to Sunday. Team Chris Muller.
Utah Jazz second-year guard Keyonte George was the star in the Rising Stars Challenge on Friday night at All-Star Weekend. He didn't win MVP, but he made the biggest shot of the challenge, which earned a spot to play on All-Star Sunday night. So how did that all work out? Well, the way the NBA tweaked things this year, as we mentioned before, the Rising Stars Challenge had 4 different teams in a mini tournament. George led his team in the first game with 10 points to help them earn a spot in the final game. And then he hit the game-winning shot in the championship game, which clinched that spot to play against the 3 NBA All-Star teams in the mini tournament today.
I think Steph got the loose ball. And I kind of just said I was kind of making a noise for him, letting them know that I was kind of trailing the play. I think 3 people collapsed on him, and he just threw the ball out. Coach was saying in the timeout that we don't have to take a 3. But I let him know I was going to let it fly if I was open. So obviously, ball went in. And, it was a great moment for us.
You know what? The other pro sports leagues could learn something from the NHL, which instead of an all-star game, launched a 2-week event called the Four Nations Face-Off this year.
Yeah, a tournament featuring 4 teams of NHL talent from USA, Canada, Sweden, and Finland. It's been a hit. The first time in 9 years that NHL players have played in international competition, and 4.4 million viewers watched USA and Canada on Saturday night. It also brought together another pair of international rivals, Finland and Sweden. And Utah Hockey Club defenseman Olli Mata played a key role for Finland on Saturday. He put the perfect pass into the crease for Alexander Barkov's game-tying goal, a goal that sent the game to overtime, where Finland was able to pull off the win. It was Mata's second assist of the tournament.
And the gloves are off. Kachuk and Brandon Hagel.
How was this for a start? Right from the face-off, we had a fight. USA and Canada. Matthew Kachuk throws down the gloves and fights Brandon Hagel. Then just 1 second later, his brother Brady takes on Sam Bennett. The Kachuk brothers, real American heroes. Once the fighting was done, the emotion didn't stop. Charlie McAvoy lays out Connor McDavid. And then moments later, Jake Gensel scores the first goal for Team USA. More big hits. Brady Kachuk. Ooh, hits Drew Doughty into the boards. USA would score 3 unanswered goals. Dylan Larkin would give them the lead in the second period, and Gensel scored an empty netter to seal it with the 3-1 win. Team USA clinched a spot coming up in the Four Nations Championship later this week. How fun was that? All right, now switching gears. BYU had a great week before they welcomed 17th-ranked Kansas to the Marriott Center on Tuesday night. They picked up 2 big wins that will certainly help boost their NCAA tournament resume. On Tuesday, the Cougars had a chance to bounce back from a poor performance at Cincinnati and get a quad 1 win in one of the toughest venues in the country at West Virginia. Yegor Demin hit a huge 3 with 3:45 to go to give the Cougars the lead. Then in the final minute, a big shot off the bench from Mihailo Bošković. His and 1 clinched the Cougars' best road win of the season. Then on Saturday night, the momentum continued. The Cougars welcomed the Kansas State Wildcats to Provo, a team on a 6-game win streak. But it was BYU that dominated. Keba Keita, he dominated 9 points, 11 rebounds, and 5 blocks. Dallin Hall came off the bench and scored 16 points. And how about Richie Saunders? Had another great game. 17 points, 14 rebounds, 2 steals. BYU ended the Wildcats win streak. Not a quad 1 win, but a great home performance for the Cougars.
He's just a guy that leads by example in terms of his motor. And my favorite thing to say about Richie, I've said it 1,000 times, but most guys that play like Richie can't shoot. No, but seriously, I mean, I saw it in the NBA all the time. It was like, oh, this guy's a really good defender and he hustles. Okay, but you can't play him and when it matters because you can't make shots. They don't guard him. Richie's incredibly efficient offensive player and has that level of motor, which is a rare combination. So we're lucky to have him.
Just 6 more games to go before the conference tournament. 3 against top 20 teams beginning Tuesday night in Provo. A lot of quad 1 opportunities. BYU will be hosting 17th ranked Kansas, and then they hit the road next Saturday to face number 13 Arizona.
The Utah women's basketball team is red hot. They've now won 7 straight games after taking 2 this week from Colorado and Arizona State, and the Utes' 3-point shooting has fueled this run, averaging nearly 12 made threes per game during that streak. On Saturday against ASU, Utah made a season-high 18 three-pointers on 56% shooting from downtown. Kennedy McQueen made a career-high 6 threes in the game, and Jonna Neepkins, who recorded her 4th career double-double, is averaging 24 points per game during that win streak.
All right, back to the NBA. The NBA tried something new this year, give them credit, with the All-Star Game. Anything to help spark interest in the midseason exhibition, so they went with a new tournament format.
Yeah, something new to go with the classic 3-point contest and dunk contest from Saturday night. We wanted to take a look back at some of the memorable moments from All-Star Weekend in the Bay Area.
Second-year man who can shoot the lights out from the Utah Jazz, Keyonte George.
Offense again, Stephon Castle. Once again, George. And Saturday,
beautiful night in San Francisco. Now the Kia Skills Challenge that each team is going to want. Oh, he's not even worried about this shot. They were just going for time. Look at this. This is a unique strategy. It's all about the bounce, the passes. They're not even worried about this. Has Chris Paul's fingerprints all over it. Goodness, yes. The crowd is unsettled. Yes. The rules are being shoved to the very brink. They have manipulated the rules. There's some boos. A lot of boos. Wow, they have been disqualified. They have been disqualified. Uh-oh.
In your opinion, it was cheating or it was genius?
They played to win. And they played by the rules, but it was definitely cheating, though.
Oh, that's going to hurt. Cavaliers look like they've got it. So Damian Lillard, a two-time winner, trying to get number 3. Oh, no. Comes up short. Hero survives. Lillard is gone. Well, he has improved from round 1. He has improved from round 1. There it goes. He's made 3. Tyler Hero is 1.
Got to catch it first.
Oh, my gosh.
Allow me to reintroduce myself. My name is Matt.
He's down here.
They're scared. They're scared of the Mac.
It's the return of the Mac. Spin, young man. Oh, no! Vince Carter, you are being challenged for the greatest dunker in dunk history.
Look at his eyes. Look at his head.
That's for concentration.
Boom. Yeah, that's over. Yep. Good night. It's a three-peat. Yes. It is a three-peat. First time in the history of the dunk contest.
After 20 years, BYU Athletic Director Tom Holmoe is calling it a career. A look at his decision and what's next for BYU is coming up.
Yeah, and it's been a pretty rough go for Jazz fans so far this season, but what if I told you there's more than just 13 wins to be excited about? We'll explain. That's coming up next.
Several local college stars have been invited to participate at this year's NFL Scouting Combine. 3 Utes, Brant Keithy, Junior Tafuna, and Karene Reed, will be headed to Indy. Joining them in Indianapolis will be BYU defensive lineman Tyler Batty, the only Cougar invited. The only Aggie is Utah State wide receiver Jalen Royals. Also, Corner Canyon star quarterback Jackson Dart and Kearns High linebacker Jeffrey Bossa, who played at Oregon, is headed there. And Highland High tight end Jackson Haas, who is at Georgia Tech and Yale, has also been invited. It takes place at the end of the month with the NFL Draft coming up in April.
Well, as the Utah Jazz continue to experience the growing pains of a rebuild this season, they've also been able to get a little peek into the future.
Yeah, second-year guard Keyonte George, whom we just saw participating in All-Star Weekend, has been one of the recent bright spots for the Jazz, even coming off the bench.
Yeah, on January 25th, Keyonte was replaced in the starting lineup by rookie Isaiah Collier. But since then, George has thrived in his sixth-man role, averaging 31 minutes per game over the 12 games since going to the bench, to go with 16.3 points, 6.4 assists, and 4.1 rebounds. One of his best performances came this past Wednesday night against the Lakers. 20 points, 10 assists, and 7 rebounds.
I think that Keyonte has understood that this is not meant to be a punishment. It's meant to get the best out of him and put him in a position where he can be successful. He's done a good job of kind of refocusing on a lot of the things that aren't scoring. He's such a talented offensive player, but I think he's really diving into all the things that equate to winning.
Since heading to the starting lineup, Isaiah Collier's been one of the best rookies in the entire NBA. He's third amongst rookies in scoring since that day. He leads rookies in assists with 9 per game and has the most double-doubles among rookies in that span. Also, second-round pick Kyle Filipowski's been finding his stride lately. On Thursday night against the Clippers, he recorded a career-high 20 points and added 10 rebounds for his second double-double this season.
Well, an announcement that took Cougar Nation by surprise this week with BYU basketball on the road at West Virginia. Tom Holmoe did announce that he would be calling it a career as BYU's athletic director. Holmoe has held down the title of BYU's AD for the past 20 years. He took the Cougars from the Mountain West Conference through independence in the WCC to now a power conference in the Big 12. He's helped BYU navigate uncharted territory with NIL and transfer portals. Now, BYU starts the hunt for Holmoe's successor.
The last couple years, I've had to seriously contemplate, and my wife and I made the decision for a couple years that let's go one more. Let's go one more. Let's go another. And sometime this summer, I'm not sure about the exact date, I just had a very strong impression that it was time.
We're definitely going to conduct a national search we're going to cast a broad net with the intent of getting the person who is passionate, who bleeds blue.
President's ready to go. We're going to turn the page. The baton will be handed to a new AD, and we'll hit the ground running.
Holmoe will be leaving some big shoes to fill. A short list of possible replacements include current Deputy Athletic Director Brian Santiago, Senior Associate AD and Senior Women Administrator Liz Darger, and BYU football legend and current Associate AD for Development Chad Lewis. Also, former Hawaii AD Craig Angelos and current Kentucky Associate AD Mark Hill, they could be options.
All right, ready or not, Real Salt Lake is back on the pitch this week. They kick off action in the CONCACAF Champions Cup, a chance to compete against the best clubs in North America. Real Salt Lake will host Herediano out of Costa Rica. The first leg will be played on the pitch of America First Field in Sandy. Kickoff at 4:30 p.m. Mountain Time on Wednesday afternoon. The second leg in Costa Rica will be 1 week later. It's RSL's first appearance in the tournament in almost a decade, and they are ready for the challenge.
I think there's no such thing as a game in Central America without being physical. It's impossible. The field looks like it's in good shape from the videos I've seen. You never know. The weather might be an issue, but the one thing I'll guarantee you, it's going to be a dogfight. And so if we're not ready for battle, like real battle, it's going to be a tough match.
This past summer, American sports fans huddled around their screens and watched Utah's own Spiff Cedric make one of the most memorable plays in the Olympics, running the length of the field for the bronze medal winning try in women's rugby. Now that we've caught a bit of that bug, we can cheer on our own rugby team, the Utah Warriors, whose season begins next Sunday in Major League Rugby.
With the release of the schedule, it's kind of a revenge tour for us. Last year we had a disappointing season, so when they release the schedule now, we're able to go out there. We feel more prepared. We're ready to go and get after it.
A lot of the games last year too we lost a lot of games, but they're really close. Like, we're right there. So coming this year, we have a really good squad. Our team's really gelled together.
Tough dunk here.
Is this the best thing that's ever happened to you as far as your career?
No.
The most fun thing?
Well, no. My honeymoon was a lot of fun. All right. But next to that, it was good.
Oh, man, a lot of memories there, from Dr. Duncanstein to a couple of MVPs and a pair of All-Star games here in Salt Lake City. The Jazz have given us a lot of highlights from NBA's All-Star Weekend over the years.
Yeah, it's hard to include them all, but here are some of our favorite moments from the NBA's midseason showcase.
Start from the beginning. Pete Maravich and Truck Robinson were both All-Stars in New Orleans, but it was Adrian Daly who was the first Jazz All-Star after the team moved to Utah. He went on to represent the Jazz in 6 All-Star games, 5 as a starter. It was his first All-Star game in 1980 where he had his best performance, scoring 23 points in 30 minutes played.
The 1984 All-Star Game was a special one for Frank Layden. He was the Western Conference head coach, joined by Jazz All-Stars Adrian Dantley and Ricky Green, a game in which, as you just heard, he infamously said it was the most fun he's experienced since his honeymoon.
In 1993, the All-Star Game came to Salt Lake City, one of the greatest moments in Utah sports history. Karl Malone, the mailman, delivered 28 and 10, while Stockton added 9 points and 15 assists. And fittingly, the two were named co-MVPs of the game. Malone went to 14 All-Star games in his career, which at the time of his retirement was second most all-time. Stockton, a 10-time All-Star.
Andre Kirilenko was the next Jazz All-Star in 2004. He had 2 points and a block. It was his only All-Star appearance. It was 3 years before another Jazz player was an All-Star. Mehmet Okur scored 4 points in 14 minutes in 2007. Carlos Boozer was a two-time All-Star. He had 14 points, 10 rebounds in the 2008 All-Star game. And, of course, Darren Williams finally got the nod in 2010. He was a two-time All-Star with the Jazz, scoring 14 points, 6 assists, 4 steals in that 2010 game.
In the 2020s, it all started with Donovan Mitchell and Rudy Gobert in 2020 in Chicago. As there, the pair were named All-Stars in 3 consecutive seasons. Mike Conley finally broke through and joined Rudy and Donovan as an All-Star in 2021.
And then in 2023, the All-Star game returned to Salt Lake City. And Lauri Markkanen represented the Jazz. He scored 13 points, pulled down 7 rebounds in his first and currently only All-Star appearance.
Second-year man who can shoot the lights out from the Utah Jazz, Keyonte George.
Offense again, Stephon Castle. Once again, and Saturday, Sunday.
A beautiful night in San Francisco. Now the Kia Skills Challenge
that each team is going to want. He's not even worried about this shot. They're just going for time. Look at this. This is a unique strategy. It's all about the bounce, the passes. They're not even worried about this.
This has Chris Paul's fingerprints all over it.
Goodness, yes.
The crowd is unsettled.
Yes.
The rules are being shoved to the very brink.
They have manipulated the rules.
They have some rules.